let's have my short intro.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Betsy. Welcome. Oh,
Hi, Jonathan.
Beth here. Hello, Asphasia.
Hi,
right?
Beth. Thanks for joining us.
Oof.
Yeah, so we're doing something different this month. Yeah. Yes.
I'm feeling nervous for some reason.
I'm feeling really excited. I'm a little keyed up because this has been brewing for me for about a month. And as you can see, my name today is here because this is the person that will be speaking fairly soon, or persons or beings. And Jonathan, thank you so much for agreeing to interview this.
Yes, of course. It was so intriguing when you were talking to me and asking about like setting up an interview for your Guiding Star Collective, and yeah, I just nervousness and excitement are cousins.
Yeah.
No.
Cool. So yeah, the Guiding Star Collective is a group of angelic beings that contacted me recently. I had set some intentions for the year that I thought very smugly when I set these intentions that it would keep my team busy for the majority of the year. And guess what? They gave me the answer in 3 weeks. So then I said, okay, what's next? And here, I'll get my eyes, my glowing eyes. What's next? And I heard the guidance was start doing cold cases. And I said, no, we've had this discussion before because I am not going to receive information and call some random police department and say, hey, remember so-and-so? Well, here's what's going on. Not going to do it. Not willing. And They said, okay, well, then you're going to channel these beings. I was like, okay, let's do that. I am more than happy to do that. And I want to keep it a little bit mysterious because these beings actually said to me that they wanted to be interviewed, just like a Phil Donahue show or Oprah. They wanted to sit down and without any discussion beforehand or a script to follow. They just wanted to take questions and be interviewed about who they were and what their purpose was.
Let me see. Did I put together the banner? I was going to put together a banner and ask for people to put in questions in all caps. Apparently I did not. So let me just create that real quick.
Okay. And the peacock. Jonathan and I were laughing because coming up to this while we were both getting ready, as it turns out, we were both being run around our individual homes. Mm-hmm. You need this, you need that, you are not wearing this, you're going to wear that. They even told me what fragrance to wear, what beverage to make. Jonathan said he made a brand new beverage that is way delicious. Never made it before. Yeah, so neither one of us got to pick out our clothing or our jewelry.
I'm almost done with this drink because it's so good. Every time I go for a sip, I start gulping.
Chugging. I know. I'm being really careful. My sister brought me some amazing coffee from Seattle, and it is so delicious and so smooth. And it's that good kind of caffeine that gives you a buzz instead of the jitters. But I'm so excited. I'm kind of shaky, so I've been trying to nurse it. I don't want to look like I'm having a seizure over here.
Whereas I don't even know where this drink came from. Definitely a channel drink. I put like a heaping teaspoon, more like 2 teaspoons of matcha in my cup, put some hot water in, used a frother to mix it all together, then put chipped ice in, filled the rest of the way up with chocolate almond milk, put a couple splashes of maple syrup in there and stirred it. I'm almost done. It's so good. I can't help but gulping it.
That sounds like that's coming to a Dairy Queen or a Jamba Juice near you soon. I'm sorry. That's a dessert right there, baby.
So that is good. I don't know what, like I said, the guys just were like, okay, this is what you're making. And I had no thoughts. It just, I went through the motions and suddenly I had to drink. I'm just like, well, thank you. So, yeah. And speaking of jewelry, for some reason, my Larimar wanted to be worn today.
Yeah. Yeah. They insisted I wear my mini squash blossom, not my big squash blossom, my mini squash blossom. That was the insistence.
Because there's multiples there, right? It's not just one, it's a bunch of littles.
Yeah, I guess so. So yes, please. Beth is there. Oh, and there's Jeff. Hey, baby. How's it, brother?
This drink sounds kind of heavenly.
Yeah. Iced chai. Oh, right. No, the dirty iced chai.
The dirty iced chai
with espresso in it. Keep you strong. Yeah.
I don't even want to think about calories and sugar content in this, but
yeah, I'm trying to imagine that calories are like time. They're not linear nor real.
Right. Well, and people always talk about counting calories, but it's like, it's less about calories and the quality of the calories, right?
I'm a math person. Math doesn't lie.
Or you could have a ton of calories from good food that are like nourishing. So.
Oh yeah, I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum. I say if you eat 800 calories of Oreos in a day, you're going to lose weight. If you eat 800 calories of broccoli in a day, you're going to lose weight. I'm a numbers person.
Hi, Gerald.
Hey, Gerald lurking. Hey, Mr. Lurker, if you'd like to pop a question in. Anybody who would like to ask questions, the collective would love your questions. Now, these are not personal readings for you, but this is them. And I recognize that you don't know who these beings are, so you don't know what question to ask. So
first question I had for them is, who are you?
Who are you? And this I can answer now before I go under. They are a collective of beings from the angelic realm. And they said this is the time now to introduce themselves and their mission to the world, because we are not all, I assume. Let me, yeah, so Beth said, what kind of questions? Okay, this will help. So many of us are accustomed to and familiar with the archangels, Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, blah, blah. However many you identify, and that there's protection, there's healing, there's messengers, there's archangels that support all different things in our world. Well, what hasn't really been discussed all that much, although there are aspects of it that are well known, is that there's also archangels that hold the space for human beings to be horrible on Earth. And that my original assumption was like, what do you mean? Isn't this humans just being horrible? Isn't this humans who are just asleep and they're in ego or whatever confusion, and they're doing horrible things because they themselves are confused and in pain, and they all actually grab their stomachs, doubled over, laughing, and like, she thought it was random. Ha, 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 ha. They had a great laugh over that one.
Oh my gosh.
This was actually my first conversation with them. So just as there are angels and angelic beings and beings in many realms that are overseeing our protection and our guidance, as above, so below, there's balance to everything, right? So for every act of Archangel Michael, there is this equal and opposite action from a different being. Remember, no actions happen without the balance. So every act that is created is met and matched on the opposite side of the pendulum swing. So one of the things that I have been talking about for a while is, while it seems like there's ratcheting up of horrific and traumatic experiences happening in our public world that we're all hearing a lot about, they're constantly reminding me that those acts are met and matched by its opposite, the things that we would describe as acts of good. So they just don't get talked about a whole lot, and they want us to really remember that. But for today's purpose, yes, the Guiding Star Collective did want to introduce themselves to the world as, hey, there's angelic beings that are overseeing the things that humans call horrors. And there's reasons for them. And it's not necessarily random, and it's not unplanned. So, this is also the first time I have had any kind of channeling with beings who named themselves. When I asked for names since the 1990s, they've said the same thing. To name me is to limit me. And so by actually naming themselves, that limits what they do. And this is their intentions. So we know that they are limited to overseeing this in the human realm.
Right.
So,
this leads me to my second question for them. What is your purpose?
And for that one, I want to go under and let them explain it. And let me read Beth's last comment here.
Let me put it up on screen. Okay, that makes sense. Like during the repressed Victorian times, there was the entire Golden Dawn type energy.
Oh, that one sidetracks me every time, because I read something on Facebook that said that when they kicked Aleister Crowley out, Yeats actually kicked him down the stairs. And so it's like the original definition of yeeting.
Oh, God.
Sorry. It doesn't take me long to get distracted, does it? Kicked him down the stairs. The original. Maybe that.
Yeah. Should we do a little grounding, maybe?
Yes. Jonathan and I discussed this beforehand, and thought that since we were calling in some new energies, that grounding and centering and setting boundaries with our prayer would be a really good idea.
Right. If you're seated,
yeah,
comfortable.
So this time, guys, I'm going under. Just so you know, whatever you hear coming out from this next is not me. Okay.
So let's get grounded, and then we will be talking to the Guiding Star Collective. Uncross your legs if they're crossed. If you're seated, put your feet flat on the ground. If you're driving, please don't join us in this. Take a deep, deep breath down deep in your belly and let it out. Let's just sit here and breathe for a couple breaths. Deep breath in. And release. Another deep breath in. And release. Release all the tension in your muscles. Uncross anything that's crossed. Unclench your hands if you find you're clenching them. Okay. Through the bottoms of your feet, send out your roots deep, deep, deep into Mother Earth until your roots reach the crystalline heart of Gaia. Let those roots be entangled in that crystal heart and feel that golden, loving energy from Gaia flowing up through your roots, bubbling up through the bottoms of your feet, filling your legs, up to your knees, up to your hips, bubbling up into your torso, embracing all your organs, bubbling up, up, up to your shoulders, where that golden light spills down your arms, down into your fingertips, continuing up your neck, filling your head, until a purple flower blooms from your crown chakra. And that purple flower starts drinking in that silvery heavenly light raining down from the heavens. Feel that silvery light collect in that purple blossom and start spilling back down its stem into the top of your head, filling your head and mixing with the gold energy. Let that silvery light spill down your arms into your fingertips. Start embracing your organs with that gold light. The silver and gold start mingling as the silver trails down, down, down to the bottoms of your feet. And inside is a swirl of gold and silver energy. You are embraced by the love of Mother Earth and Father Sky. Let that energy just fill you, fill you, fill you, until a bubble of golden silver energy surrounds your whole body, and it feels like you are cocooned in an egg of protection. Now I want you to imagine a ribbon of rainbow energy being tied around where your belt would be to anchor and hold this energy in place during this time. We welcome the angels, ancestors, and guides that work with their highest purpose and potential. And we ask those who do not come in the beauty way to leave our circle in love and light and to return to the ethers, leaving only those angels, ancestors, and guides that have our highest purpose in heart. And now we ask the golden energy, the silver energy of the guiding star collective to join us. Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Greetings to all, and we appreciate you investing in your time to communicate with us. Thank you.
Thank you for being here and sharing who you are. And we start with the question, what is your purpose?
We are the angelic collection that oversees the atrocities attributed to humans on Earth. There are many collectives that oversee many, many things throughout the universe. Each has their own specific tasks, duties, and responsibilities. This is ours. We assist the human race on measuring the acts that they deem with approval and worthy of their time and attention. This appears to be destructive and negative, but it does supply the balance to all actions, events, thoughts, and intentions. So while many, many things seem horrific at this time, we want you all to remember, first and foremost, they are met and matched by their opposite in beauty, peace, love, and glory of what you would normally recognize as angelic energy. These are simply two sides of the same coin, a necessity for the balance of all things.
How can we recognize your work in this world?
Every newspaper headline, every breaking news flash, every mention of a sour event, the gossip of acts simple but perceived as negative in your neighborhood. These are all the things we oversee.
How can we best learn from those dark moments?
To recognize that this is not your path. These are not your choices. You are merely here on earth at this time to witness many, many things that you do not wish to participate in. Your intentions and your desires are to do great things of differing natures. The humans who are attached to these acts of unkindness also are very purposeful in their mission here on earth to experience committing these types of things. They have come with reasons, personal as well as for the collective, to be the ones that the world, the rest of the world may witness. They are offering themselves on the stage to commit these things for their own growth and perhaps to pay a debt that they have owed from the past or the future, or to set up a different set of circumstances for other lessons for themselves. In doing these acts, in playing these roles, they offer their audience a very, very broad audience at this time of global information. They offer millions and millions of people the opportunity to witness that which they choose not. They give you the stage to deepen your intention of doing other work than this. We hesitate to say it is good work because that is a perception of human mind, but it is work of opposite to those unkind acts upon other people and upon themselves. Yes, these are beings in pain, but it is not random, it is by design. We hold a bigger picture and a bigger purpose for these so-called atrocities in the balance of Earth. We see a grand plan all around us, from daily to millennia to eons. We see the grand plan. And yes, these plans repeat. We have all heard of the falls of many, many, many big, important cultures. And these things build and reach the pinnacle of success only to crumble over and over again and repeat again and again. This is part of the purpose on Earth. We hope that with time, humans will understand that the crumbling of a civilization is not something that happens overnight. It is not one set of beings stepping in and overthrowing. These collapses of a society occurs every single day with the smallest choices each individual makes.
How can we come to terms with the mass shootings and killings?
To not single out these events as unique. Humans have inflicted countless acts of barbarianism upon each other, beginning from ancient times. Tribes have overthrown each other for very misconstrued reasons, for imagined reasons, for stories they concoct in their own twisted minds that reflect very little about the reality of life. This is simply history repeating itself as the human mind attempts to grow, attempts to learn, attempts to understand how to be a greater source of good in the universe. This may seem backwards and a convoluted way, but only after these souls that need to come to human lives experience these episodes over and over until they understand the futility of aggression, of holding grievances, of not forgiving, and of believing deep within their souls that other people are capable of harming their inner psyches. Until all human beings understand this, the cycles continue.
What is the point of suffering?
Learning and growing. We fail to be able to express the biggest reasons for these things. The universe is so vast, it is beyond our capability to effectively describe the meanings of these lessons. Suffice it to say, Earth is a private school of learning for very specific reasons, much as you are all accustomed to hearing about schools for musicians that study music and only music, or flight attendants learning how to serve and protect and take care of airplane travel, to your doctors and surgeons that go to specific schools who learn how to manipulate their tools and their theories into trying to help people heal. This is the grand purpose of Earth as well. We have just forgotten that down here on its shell, on its surface. The learning is for the whole, and because the minds have forgotten this, things are chopped up into areas of specialties. This further divides the humans. This further deepens the need for lessons until there is a general understanding of the unity of all living things. The segregation through specialization will continue and again will lead to the rise and collapse of societies.
How can we change duality into unity?
We are all smiling. We are all smiling at the perfect, beautiful timing of this question. We are all smiling. That is a question that we are not prepared to answer, as those are not prepared to hear on this particular day at this particular time. There is so much to sift through within each border of within each countries that this globe is divided up into. Each one of these things must come to the realization within their own borders that harming one another, excluding one another, forcing out one another, dominating one another, until individual countries can understand that harming their own brothers and sisters is not in their best interest, the mission for global unity mind will go unrealized.
We have a question from the audience. How can we call on your collective to get guidance to help the planet?
We ask that you hold our very simple message each time you see something that brings the question to your mind that you would like to call us on. We would like you to visualize the swing of a pendulum, a metronome, or a grandfather clock. These are two images we are especially fond of. To just remember that these pendulums swing both ways equally. When you see that thing that you cannot understand, the horror, the hurt, and are dismayed, we want you to visualize the pendulum swinging to the other way and know that there are millions and millions of people working for and reflecting the opposite of what these things have been. We want you to recognize, as a human, you live in the gray area between these polar opposites, and at many times you can feel lost. But we want you to hold this in your mind, the swinging both ways, the balance of the light and the dark. We hesitate to develop a method of reaching out and contacting us. We feel as if there are people that are able to tap into a darker force within themselves freely enough that we do not want them to feel empowered by knowing of this collective and feeling that they are receiving guidance from us to continue on this dark path that they are traveling on. That is not our purpose. We hold the space and allow them to do this. We do not create the action. We do not urge beings to do these things. We simply hold the space that allows their mind to be present in that moment. To call on us for guidance would be to call on us for an awareness of balance. We are the opposite side of the coin. If you work with Archangel Michael, remember that the Guiding Star Collective is the opposite side to that coin, that we are brothers and sisters, that we work in harmony. Our collectives work hand in hand together. We hope this has answered your question sufficiently. If not, please clarify.
I have another question. What are your thoughts on showing up authentically, and how can we be more true to ourselves?
To be very honest about what you wish to do. If you wish to be a light worker, this is a term that we are all familiar with. We use it just to make the conversation easy. If you are determined to benefit your neighborhood, we ask you to walk out into the world every day as the being you wish the universe to witness. And this means your thoughts and your speech must align with your desire. In your heart, if you truly wish to be this beaming example of beauty, kindness, forgiveness, and non-judgment, all of your thoughts and all of your actions must align. This sounds like a tall order because many of us have been stuck in traffic. Many of us have times in our day, in our average day, when it appears someone infringes upon our comfort. In those times, what is our reaction? What is the way that we present ourselves? And yes, these are very small and simple examples, but very, very important. If we are in traffic, if someone impinges upon our process, our proceedings, and other people appear to be taking our turns and we are being disrespected, we are being shut down, we are being dominated, what is our reaction to this? Do we rise to the challenge? How is our language in this situation? What do we do? So this also is part of the lesson about working in integrity, aligning your day-to-day actions and reactions with what you seek. We understand this at times as a human is not practical. We just ask you to consider the world to reflect the things around you that you say you want. If you say you want to feel an equal member of your community, of your brotherhood and sisterhood, of your personhood community, you want to be equal, but find yourself from time to time slipping into sweeping and broad generalizations of, oh, they always do that. This will perpetuate that truth for you. The smallest things are your wishes, are your spells, are your intentions, and yes, your request will be granted. If this does not answer your question, please clarify.
I have another question going back to the original audience question. What are you doing to ensure the pendulum does not swing too far?
How is that possible? Have you ever witnessed the metronome only sweeping to the right and the center? Have you ever witnessed the grandfather clock sweeping only to the left and return to center? We fail to understand how this is possible. All things are in balance. As above, so below. Body and spirit, heart and mind, all of these things are in balance and reflect each other perfectly. How, please clarify how this can happen. Okay. We heard you. So, knowing now that the Guiding Star Collective is here to manage what we would think of as the uncomfortable aspects of humanity, what if there were none? What if the mission of the archangels of light beings that you are also comfortable and familiar with, Michael, Uriel, Gabriel, Raphael, etc., Freya, oh, she insists on being mentioned. And okay, Cleopatra includes, she insists on being included as well. So if these were the only beings that were at work on this earth and their missions were 100% successful in every split second, our question to you is, would the earth even exist? Why would the earth be necessary? This type of existence already is in place in many, many, many places in our vast universe. In the vastness of what you would call life and we call being, this already exists in many, many places. The purpose of Earth is to reflect on the contrast. If all things were of light and love and equality and beauty, this planet would not exist. It would be irrelevant. We hope perhaps one day this technology will become unnecessary.
We have another question. So there is ultimate healing and learning for victims of horror.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. No. I'll put my glasses on. Betsy needs glasses. So you, collective, help us with our lessons. Yes, indeed. Just as all other archangels help you with your lessons, just as all other guides help you with our lessons, we too are guides and teachers, helping you, holding space for you to experiment. This is so.
How can we best learn from the dark times?
Each time you witness an act that is unpleasant and foul, allow that to help you further determine the things that you do want to do, the things that you prefer to witness, and the way to get there. We will remind you that manifesting and co-creating your reality is a very real thing. If you desire to no longer see a headline of destruction, continue your study in the art of co-creating that which you wish to experience. Yes, we hold the space for the atrocities, but we also, as a collective, all are rooting for humankind to eventually come out of these necessary cycles of birth, growth, and destruction. What you may not think about us is that our desire is not to remain in this realm doing these works forever and ever and ever without ending. We have all volunteered to help, just as Kuan Yin, just as Shiva, just as Michael, just as Raphael have all volunteered their time and their attention to be attached in this realm on earth to assist humankind. We have also done the same, but this was never our intention that this go on for infinity. We have come here as volunteers, as teachers, as guiding forces to assist humans in finding their true path and remembering the purpose, remembering the reasons they came here to seek the contrast and to understand the choices that we make and the impact that they have upon all. We have never planned on being here for infinity in this role, overseeing this realm. So, yes, we are patient. Yes, we know we are here doing the good work as well as you. But we also hope and hold the space within our own hearts that eventually humankind will come up from this cycle.
What tips do you have to help us embrace our dark sides and our light sides to become more whole?
Yes, that is a beautiful question. Within the core of each human being resides the two sides of the coin. There's no escaping this. There's no need to be threatened by this. While we all have the ability to turn dark, to do harm, we have the equal ability to be peaceful and loving. Your choice in your actions and your words each day in each situation is the way we eventually turn the tide. We cannot wait for a so-called leader to instruct us upon a different path. We know many, many examples of a leader creating a suggestion for their followers, and those followers appear to be following this instruction. But it is overshadowed. It does not really speak the whole truth of each individual. Yes, they may be doing their exercises and they may be demonstrating the appearance of following this instruction. But in secret, behind closed doors, the truth of the other side of that coin shines brightly many, many times. The individual must seek the balance. They must understand that their two sides of the coin is their true nature, and they get to choose the actions, the thoughts, the words, the deeds that reflect what they want the most. Deciding what you want for yourself is a very, very big part of this picture. How many of us have a friend that repeatedly will defer choices to you? And when you say to them, well, what do you want? They stumble. Sometimes it can be on a big life picture. Do you want to own a home or do you want to rent? Do you want to go to school and be educated or do you want to find your work in a different arena? Do you want to travel or do you want to be stationary? People can have a very difficult time choosing these big pictures because the outcome is unclear and they are paralyzed by making the wrong choice. Sometimes this reflects in what would you like for dinner? What would you like to go to see at the movie? Which beverage would you like at the coffee shop? People can be paralyzed in making their choices because if they are disappointed, they must take responsibility for that disappointment. Therefore, they defer their decision making to other people because now if they're disappointed, it is not their fault. They can blame the other. People must embrace and create what they want for themselves. We must know on earth the things that we choose, the things that we want. Refusing to make a choice just allows you to flounder around in the vortex, reacting to the things that happen to you, reacting to the people that do things to you, back and forth, like the ping pong ball on the table of life, just being hit from one side, hit from the other, jumping the net cleanly sometimes and falling and tripping over the net many, many times. If you know what you want, you have the ability to co-create that. We cannot stress enough how important this is.
We have a follow-up question from the audience. Can you explain the balance between destiny or fate and free will? How does that work?
Excellent question. Let us break it down as this. Destiny is your soul's intention for the lessons you have come to learn. So let us say someone's destiny could be a lesson, an extreme lesson of growth would be to come and submerge yourself in the lesson of abandonment, emotional abandonment. That is your lesson. That would be your choice before incarnating into a human body. Fate is that you are fated to fall into relationships that will reflect your desire to you. And please remind us what the third part of this question was. Free will. Thank you. Free will. Thank you. Free will is as you walk down this path of emotional abandonment, experiencing the situations that continue to remind you of this lesson. You will come to many forks in the road, and your choice of to run from abandonment and to harm those that you feel have harmed you, or to protect yourself and put up walls around this world that seems to do nothing but persecute you, or your choice to forgive and to love and to keep your heart open. This is the power of free will. Please clarify if this has not answered your question.
Do you have any more information that these questions have not touched on that you wished to share today?
We feel content with the information shared. We understand that this is a very broad brush stroke of information that may be a little difficult for some to process in one sitting. And we would like you to perhaps replay this conversation to see if you can find the clarifications needed. Also, we would say for those that are in confusion about what all this means, to just ignore this for at least 24 hours. Put it on a shelf in a jar, so to speak. If this conversation comes back to you, again, we ask you to rewatch this event or perhaps reach out to either moderator or some friends of yours in the chat and run some things by them to see if anyone else has some other perspective that you had not considered that may clarify any questions you may have. We want you to know that we will be here on earth in this realm doing our work for as long as we are deemed necessary, and that we will always be with all beings at all times. As a collective, we are able to travel to all beings at all times, just as the archangels of light work are able to do as well. We shall never abandon you. We shall never get tired of you. We shall never turn our backs on you. We want you to know that we are here and supporting you in every step that you make.
For anyone wishing to work more deeply with you, do you have any tips for them?
We want you to be very, very sure of what you want and how important that is, how that reflects on the choices that you make. As the beings that hold the space for the acts of unkindness, each time you lash out, even in the smallest of circumstances, and yes, you, the person that is sitting here right now, imagining themselves in their car with their radio turned up quite loudly, and someone drives by you and you have given them a hand gesture and you have called them something, and we know you know exactly what we're saying. Remember that those are the same forces that eventually culminate into a traumatic public event. How you build upon that is your choice. Deciding what you want, if you wish to be the headline maker or if you wish to be the quiet, peaceful soldier walking on the path of joy and beauty, is entirely up to you. We support you in either way. Both jobs are necessary for humans on Earth.
Is there a way to heal the wounds that cause these horrors from happening?
Yes, humankind must awaken to the fact that harming another human being will never, ever, ever bring them anything that is worth having. All human beings must recognize that harming life will never bring them peace or closure to their pain.
We have a question from the audience. Who else will you work with?
Please clarify. We are already working with all beings on Earth.
There is no one you don't work with, correct?
We work with all beings on Earth exactly the same way as the archangels of light work with all beings on Earth.
If anyone else has any questions, now is the time to ask them. I believe
We have heard a question come up about beings in the second dimension. It is a word we do not use, but we have the awareness of the word demons and how that reflects on our mission. Just know that those beings of the second dimension and lower dimensions are not within the same realm that we are in. You are not calling us when these things come into play. These are opportunistic and parasitic beings that latch on when they have permission to enter your sphere. We are aware that many people do not understand that they are giving permission. We understand that many people feel they have no choice about the presence of these beings. And we come back to our statement. You must be very, very clear about what you want the world to reflect to you. If you believe others are out to get you, the world will reflect that to you. This is not us. We are not of the second dimension.
I got a clarification for the who else will you work with. Are there others that you will communicate through?
We are taking this one step at a time. We are as unsure of how our message will be received by human beings as those of you in the audience today. We recognize there is a great focus of energy and attention on the word triggering. And we will prefer to take small steps until we have an idea of reception. The last thing we want to do is to have an earthling who is willing become the martyr. We understand the delicate balance that these persons may put themselves into by being willing to be our communicating vehicle. And we are proceeding with caution. We are not giving you the number or the times or the places of others we may ever wish to or are currently communicating with, because we are proceeding in utmost caution.
I have one more question from the audience. Respectfully asked, how can we be sure you are who you say you are and your intentions are pure?
We shall never reach out to you, dear one. We shall never reach out to you. We shall never attempt to control or manipulate or to force a being to do anything. We simply hold the space of possibility. Just as the light workers hold the space of possibility for beauty, unity, joy, and oneness, we have our job to do on the opposite side of the coin. This may not make any sense to you, and you may choose to not invest. You may choose to walk away from this information, and we fully support you in that. We feel there is no one right path. If this does not make sense, if this does not resonate, we raise you up in our hands and we bless you and we cheer you. And we ask you to continue to be the brave one to forge your own way. It does not matter to us, those who believe we are here or not. If you've never imagined or heard of any such a collective of beings or energy, we understand that. This is not the most popular perspective one may hold. It is much easier to feel one understanding of angelic beings only in the heavenly realms of light and good work, and only beings in demonic realms of harm. We understand it is a much more comfortable place to be. We are in between these two. Again, a bit of the gray area. We hold the space of possibility, and we understand it's not the most popular nor comfortable perspective. We honor you and we love you, and we urge you to continue your journey as you wish.
Thank you for joining us, Guiding Star Collective. Is there any last words you wish to give us before we part ways?
We love you all. We love you all. We love you as the mother whose heart breaks for their incarcerated children. We love you all. We know you are trying. We know you are growing. We know you are learning. We will never give up hope. We will never turn our backs on our duty. We hold this place in appreciation for all you brave souls who come to this planet to learn these lessons. You are very, very courageous beings, and we honor and respect you as that. At this time, we will bid farewell, and again, we thank you. We thank our hosts, and we thank our audience who joined us on this conversation. We appreciate you all very much, and farewell.
Thank you. Farewell. We release this energy with open hearts and good feelings. Welcome back, Betsy.
Hello.
And Gerald says, I understand and heard the message to me specifically.
Hui.
A lot to digest from that. Yeah.
Get my light eyes back again. And the lasers. Having so much fun with that. Hui. Okay, now I don't know about you guys, but for me, sitting in their energy was really lovely. For me, I had no cause of concern. I had no awareness of needing to draw boundaries about beings that were coming through. Because, you know, when second dimension stuff tries to pop in, I'm like, no, not welcome here. It wasn't like that at all. Was not like that at all. And interestingly enough, like all our familiar archangels, Michael and etc., they were just nowhere near, nowhere around, no feeling like they were interrupting or needed to chime in, nothing. They were just like, no, go ahead.
Beth says, Betsy, when you first heard from this collective, you must have been floating around in your house like the high.
Well, they first came in with some really hardcore messages, which eventually I will share, and it freaked me out. I did reach out to a couple of people, and with the initial message that they sent, and it freaked them all out too. You know who you are. I have had now, so this was March 17th when I wrote down the first information I received from them. So I've had linear time to get accustomed to it. And I've also had some distractions, so I was able to get some distancing. But yeah, I was pretty obsessed for a few days, and I was pretty freaked out. But I'm also a pretty good candidate for some of the stuff that they wanted to talk about. They did make me get up at 2 a.m. and write down their name. Because like I said, I've never had any being give a name before, and they made me get out of bed. They just kept me awake, repeating it like Henry VIII. I am. Until I got up and wrote down Guiding Star Collective. That's so. Yeah.
I'm so overheated right now.
Are you? Yeah, I'm pretty sweaty too. I think, it's a good thing I'm wearing natural fibers. It might have melted together.
Right. The heat generated from this interaction was very.
Was it? Okay, that was some incredible stuff. That's cool. I can't wait to watch it back. Although I guess I'm going to have to just turn the camera around. Sometimes when I'm channeling, I don't really like to see myself. I don't mind being on stage. You know me, I'm a ham. I love being on stage. I love being in the spotlight. But when I'm channeling, it's a little different.
Right. Wow. And this definitely was not you answering because the voice was different.
Was it?
Yeah.
I don't go completely away. I still have some awareness. But and what really came in was one time they wanted to say I, and I was like, what? And then they changed it.
Leo much?
Sun, Moon, Pluto, and one other planet, all in Leo. Yeah.
A lot of Leo in your chart then.
Yeah.
Wow.
Woo-hoo! Okay. Well, thanks everybody. Thank you for allowing this platform to happen.
What's next? But I'm just kind of in a.
Yeah. What's next is probably some high quality protein and a nap.
Right?
Or I wish I had that pint of Ben and Jerry's, Gerald. Yes. What's next? Oh wait, what's next is Gerald. I'll be on Gerald's channel in 2 hours with Gerald and Jamie.
Nice. Yes.
Thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you everyone for being here. Thank you, Gerald. Thank you, Beth. Thank you. Yeah, thank you everyone. And
thanks everyone. Yeah, thank you everyone that wrote in questions. What? Oh, darling.
Something they said really, really hit home.
Okay. Oh, sweet. Well, you can find me on Messenger, Betsy Palmer. If anybody wants to private message me, you can find me on Messenger or on Facebook too. Yeah. And my website, you can always, if you go to my website, there's a request box where you can send a comment and email it to me. I'll get back to you. Yep.
Oh, 1 hour.
1 hour. Oh, cool. Even better.
Right, because daylight savings always messes with me. It's like now you got to add an hour to everyone else's time.
Well, wouldn't that be something if I showed up an hour late?
No.
Okay, cool.
Okay. You have an hour to get yourself gathered before the
I'm gonna have a snack and run to the bathroom and drink some water, and obviously there's nothing wrong with my energy for the moment.
No, you're flying right now.
Yep.
Thank you, Beth, for being here. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. And I was going to talk about stuff, but it's not in my brain right now. So yeah, keep an eye on
Jonathan's Facebook. He'll post an update.
So thank you everyone for being here, and until next time, aloha. Oh wait, we got one last comment here from Jeffrey.
Probably got more from this by far than any other
cast today.
Broadcast today. Cool.
TKU Collective. Yes.
Awesome. I will hope to see you tomorrow, Jeff.
Yes. And Trostash is saying 4 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, yeah, that would be 10 o'clock, wouldn't it? Cool. I'll be ready.
Okay. Again, aloha and a hui ho.
A hui ho.